hear a knock on the door and the night begins. 'Cause we've done this before, so you come on in.
Share Shot Reality as we get closer and closer to WrestleMania coming up on April 3rd, but of course April 3rd before WrestleMania. If you are in Arlington, Texas, just a mile away from the stadium, you are going to want to join us at Sherlock's Pub as we have our annual pre-Mania party. Matt Hardy will be there. $10 if you'd like to meet Matt. It's free to get in, free for the Q&A. Ought to be a good time. The big match we'll all be waiting for, at least one of the big matches, is of course the Undertaker guys up against Shane McMahon inside of a Hell in a Cell. Now we knew from the very beginning Shane wants control of Raw. He has to win. Now things get that much more interesting because Vince McMahon has said that if Undertaker does not get the job done, it'll be the exact wording, his last WrestleMania. Does that mean retirement? We're not sure. It was very specific,
Last
but
WrestleMania.
also vague
Yeah.
terminology.
Because I don't think they know what they want it to be.
They don't.
You know what I mean? That's the problem here is they're trying so hard to make this the most important match. I mean, Vince talking his son up like he's the best wrestler ever coming through. Never underestimate Shane, this, that, and the other. Oh, but wait, now we have to put Undertaker's career on the line.
It's not his career, though.
Or his
But
WrestleMania,
that's the thing.
whatever it is.
And if he were to lose this match, and like no way the Undertaker's going to lose this, is going to be his last WrestleMania against Shane McMahon. He's going to face somebody
Sure.
else before he goes out. But then whoever is in charge, the powers that be, if you beat so-and-so, or if you win the Royal Rumble, you'll get one last match at WrestleMania.
How many times has John Cena been fired? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's all these things that happen. You have last matches, they're fired, career matches, and none of that means anything.
And nothing's a shock anymore because Undertaker already lost to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
That's
though.
true.
Because I'm getting closer and closer, and I mean, we'll make our official predictions, on this match, Josh and I, next week at Sherlock's Pub, which you can join us on Friday, April 1st. I'm getting closer and closer to believing Shane McMahon's going to win this. He's going to win this match. What I wonder is this match already had, Shane wanting control, Hell in a Cell. It already had all these elements to tune in and care. Why add this stipulation with Undertaker unless they wanted it to mean something?
If they want somebody to come back and could we see John Cena come back and potentially cost The Undertaker, which sets up a match next year at WrestleMania as The Undertaker's last official match at WrestleMania?
Why would Cena cost him?
Yeah.
In some capacity, why is Undertaker on Vince McMahon's side?
That's true. Okay.
Well, the instrument,
He's the instrument that Vince created.
It is the instrument, but what I'm saying is that there is something waiting that is going to cost the Undertaker. Undertaker would never lose cleanly. Now we know whether it's an Austin or a Rock or whoever, HBK, whoever's going to come back, Cena, Kane, whoever it is, someone's going to cost the Undertaker this match because Shane's not winning clean.
Well, I think one of the things maybe you said it or somebody else said it. It's more and more seemingly to me that Shane and Vince could be in cahoots.
I like that.
Where potentially they're together, and you finally find out later on, maybe on Raw the next night, or after you see them shaking hands, a la Mania 17 with Austin and Vince, to potentially try to have the instrument that Vince created finally go away. For so many years, everybody's relied on The Undertaker, and yeah, he's made Vince money, but they could kind of parlay this and spin this into we really finally am trying to push The Undertaker out. There's nothing without the streak now if it's The Undertaker WrestleMania. He's already lost, so what does he have to give us anymore at WrestleMania? So he doesn't have that anymore in his pocket.
He's an even bigger gimmick now than he already is.
Exactly, because he's the guy that Vince tries to push out the door.
Remember, this is the guy who's come back from being buried alive, put in caskets, to rise up to the heavens above, to strike down lightning and come back with vengeance.
He has more power than LeBar. I mean, come on now. LeBar has more power in IWC than Undertaker ever had, maybe, potentially.
I said in the open of my Triple I radio show, I said, there's a dozen of scenarios, and one of the scenarios is, yes, Vince and Shane in cahoots, which actually, if that happened, that would kind of look like it would be something that we heard that they were going to do in the past few years. When they first started calling Stephanie the principal owner, we heard that it was supposedly to set some kind of a power struggle up. If Vince and Shane were in cahoots and that pushed Triple H and Stephanie out, that seems like that's what that would be. But again, I don't see the reason of why they would do. Then all of a sudden that makes Triple H and Stephanie babyface.
Yeah,
well, because
but then
Vince
it
can
goes
also
back to. Well, I'm just saying then that goes back to the fact that this match will indeed close the night out. If Triple H loses to Roman Reigns, then you have a reason that Triple H is going to want that control still because no longer champ, he needs control.
And think of it like this: Vince can easily spin the storyline around saying, "I wanted Shane in control because he did make a point. My television ratings, my stock's down. I'm not a billionaire anymore. All this has been
think
under."
Vince is going to say that on air though?
He doesn't need to.
You think his ego will say that?
He doesn't need to, but he can still spin it around saying, the reason that I'm not this, and this is because I actually have had put you guys in power, and look what you've done to my company. The last time my company was profitable, Shane McMahon was main eventing Armageddons. You know what I mean? Like, this is an easy way for Vince to put the blame on somebody else than himself.
I will say this: I do think that the Shane versus Taker match is going to close Mania.
I think
between the obvious concerns of the Reigns reaction and going off the air with the mixed crowd, and just the way that they presented. You didn't have Shane or Taker there, but just the way they did the hype videos. And like I think Jericho had the quote in that hype video saying, when Taker's in a match, it's a main event. Yeah. When Shane's in a match, it's a main event. When they're telling us it's a main event. Now you put control. Like I think there was them saying like this is going to be the way we win the night.
But back to that point,
because control of Raw is the only thing bigger than a world title match.
So one thing you're going to have, Roman Reigns wins the title no matter what. As a face, he's going to get booed. Does he have that heel change in the match? Does he do that flip to where it does turn Triple H and Stephanie as faces? And then from there, they come back and in some way are involved in that last match. I think that you're not going to see the Authority end their night with the World Heavyweight title match.
There's a lot of possibilities. I mean, I don't know if there's actually one that I'm sold on right now, but I think
glass shatter, and you're going to hear that.
See, I don't. But isn't that the problem though? Isn't that the problem with WWE? Is they have to go back to these Attitude Era guys to make
this year more than any
because of the injuries.
No,
maybe.
but the thing is,
still you're relying on guys that haven't made money for you
Cena,
in years.
Rusev last year, Bray and Undertaker. You were positioning Bray last year to really make a move.
Problem is though, when you bring you got to have a payoff for everything, and there's no if Austin's not having a match, there's no payoff to anything. That's why. That's the problem with bringing any of these guys back. You'll see Austin and these guys in a segment. They'll do.
That's why The Rock coming back was a payoff before because you had matches. You had multiple matches with him.
Right.
You know, if Austin's not going to wrestle, he's useless to me. Right. I don't care if he does a stunner.
Chairshot Reality, WrestleZone.com. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/CSR Wrestling. Coming up this week, as we approach into WrestleMania week, we're going to have a longer bit of CSR starting on Wednesday. We will start our undercard predictions presented by WrestleRumble.com. And then, of course, you can join Josh and I April 1st, Friday, noon, at Sherlock's Pub, a mile away from AT&T Stadium. You can come get your 2 cents in there as we talk about the 3 marquee matches, Ambrose versus Lesnar, world title match, and Taker versus Shane. Beer on me.